I am obsessed with this chocolate strawberry cake. There's so much going on here, but it's also super easy to prepare. I'm telling you from experience, you will not be able to stop eating this cake, and it's so easy to make. Let's begin. We'll first begin by making this quick instant strawberry jam. This will be the strawberry element of our chocolate strawberry cake, which will be the filling inside the two layers. So I've taken some chopped fresh strawberries and I've added some caster sugar into it. Then I'm going to turn on the heat on medium and continue cooking this. Initially, it won't look like much, but as you keep cooking, the strawberries will start releasing their own natural juices, the sugar will start to melt, and everything will start to boil like this. Then you'll turn the heat down to medium low and continue cooking it till it gets jammy like this. It will still look pretty runny, but transfer it to a bowl and then let it cool down thoroughly. I like to pop mine in the refrigerator overnight, and as you can see, it's already quite thick right now, but as it cools down, it will get really nice and jammy. So let that do its thing. And the next day, then we will start working on the chocolate genoise sponge. So you'll preheat your oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 325 Fahrenheit. And in this bowl here, first we'll sift in our all-purpose flour or plain flour, then some cocoa powder and some corn flour or cornstarch. For genoise sponge, you do need to sift your dry ingredients several times, and especially when there's cocoa powder involved, because as you can see, it does have quite a few lumps in there, so you need to get that sifted. And then at this point, I realized I've forgotten to add some salt, so we'll quickly add some salt to help balance out all the flavors in the cake. And we will be sifting this 3 times. So I have sifted that once, then I'll take it into another bowl and sift it again, and then I will go back after sifting this for a third time. This helps aerate your dry ingredients really well and keeps it really light and fluffy. You'll see when we start whisking the eggs, the foam becomes very light, almost weightless, and that's exactly what we want to happen with the dry ingredients as well, which is why you do want to sift it several times till it's nice and light and aerated. So this is the third time that we've sifted our dry ingredients. I will now keep that aside and we will start working on the eggs. I will be using 3 room temperature eggs here, and then into this I'm going to add some light brown sugar. There's just something magical about adding light brown sugar in chocolate cake. It just makes it more moist because of the molasses content. Brown sugar is known to clump together, and if you just add it straight from the jar, those clumps may not disintegrate while you're whipping the eggs, and that can affect the final texture. So we will sift this in really well. This helps get rid of those lumpy bits, and then I'll also flavor it with some vanilla. And now I'll go in with my whisk attachment first on a low speed just to get this going, just to wake it up, so to speak, and then I'll crank the speed up to high, the highest speed setting, and whisk this for about 7 minutes. You'll start to notice it increases tremendously in volume and it will go really pale, light and fluffy. I mean, there is a dramatic transformation here, and that gives you that weightless foam almost. So after 7 minutes on the highest speed, you will turn the speed down all the way to low and mix it for 1 minute just to help even out the air bubbles. You don't want uneven large air bubbles in this foam, and you can see just how thick and voluminous this foam is. And when you swirl your whisk attachment, you get these thick foamy ribbons, which is perfect. Now we have previously sifted these dry ingredients 3 times, and we'll sift it a 4th time now directly into our batter, but we will do that in about 2 to 3 batches so as to not overwhelm the egg foam that we've created. So sift in from a little bit of a height so that it helps aerate the dry ingredients even more, and very gently, and the key word here being very, very gently, you're going to fold this in. Go all the way to the bottom of the bowl to get those dry bits, and then add in the oil. I go in along the sides of the bowl, and this time I just went in one go, but you can do it in batches as well, and fold it gently. And now we are ready to pour this into a 6-inch cake tin, which is greased really well, and the bottom is lined with parchment paper. You can use either a fixed bottom tin or a loose bottom one. They both work really well. Using a wooden skewer, just swirl this around the batter to help release air pockets and even out the batter. Then tap it gently against the work surface. Then this will go in the oven at 160°C or 320°F for about 28 minutes. A skewer or a knife inserted in the center should come out clean. Once it's out of the oven, let it sit in its tin for about 15 to 20 minutes. Look how soft and fluffy that cake is. It quite literally is a sponge cake. It's very, very pillowy, soft and spongy. After about 20 minutes, when the tin is manageable, you will run a thin, sharp knife along the edges or a palette knife along the edges to help release the cake, and then you'll invert it onto a wire rack to help it cool down completely. That looks incredible, and I'll peel off the parchment paper as well. And once it has cooled down completely, we will slice it into 2 different layers. But while that's cooling down, we'll make our milk soak. Super easy. Just take some equal parts of milk and sugar and pop this in the microwave at 20-second bursts. You can see right now the sugar is still visible, but you'll keep heating this at 20-second intervals until the sugar has completely melted. You want the milk to heat up really well and for the sugar to be completely dissolved. You can also do this on a stovetop, but with the quantity that we need, a microwave works really well because it's really quick and easy. So I'll keep that aside because that needs to cool down completely. And now I'll level off my cake. I'm not going to take the crust off because it's actually really soft. And look at how amazing and soft this cake sponge is. You can literally fold this in half and it won't break. I'm going to use a sheet of acetate to help assemble the cake really easily. I'll start soaking the sponge with the milk soak that we created. You want to be generous, but also ensure that you're not making the cake too soggy. Make sure that there are no dry bits on the cake and that the entire surface of the cake is soaked really well in the milk soak. Then I'm going to take some whipped cream that I have whipped to stiff peaks. I haven't sweetened this. It's just plain old whipped cream that has been whipped to stiff peaks. The cake, the strawberry filling and the milk soak are all sweet, and so I want to balance out the flavors by leaving the cream unsweetened. When you take a bite of that cake, you will notice just how well balanced the flavors are. The sweetness is just right. I just cannot have desserts that are cloyingly sweet, and so a perfect balance in the sweetness is so important, and leaving the cream unsweetened helps just balance everything out really well. I'm going to create a dam along the edges of the cake here so that we can put our filling in and it won't spill out of the cake. So here I have the strawberry jam that we prepared. I transferred it into a piping bag. You want to snip off a larger chunk at the tip so that the strawberries don't get stuck while you try to get them out of the piping bag. Spread it around gently and evenly, and the jam that we prepared helps keep the filling inside in the center. Now we'll place the second layer of the cake with the crust side facing down, and we will soak the top layer of the sponge as well. You'll also gently press the cake sponge so that it sits on top of the cream and there's no gaps in there. Now we will start soaking the top of the cake with the milk soak as well, and you can see just how pillowy, soft and spongy this cake is. It is absolutely amazing. Again, while soaking with the milk soak, you want to be sure that you are covering the entire surface but not soaking it to the point that the cake turns soggy. You just want to moisten up the cake, and then we'll finish off with the rest of the whipped cream. And using my offset spatula, I'll just spread it out really evenly, and I will pop this in the refrigerator for about half an hour so all the flavors can meld and the layers can set really well. It's been about 30 minutes now. I'm going to peel off the masking tape so I can take this sheet of acetate off, and look at how stunning this cake looks. I'll make some swirls like this with some whipped cream along the sides of the cake and then sprinkle some chocolate sprinkles in the center. This is entirely optional and you can decorate it as you prefer. And then I will also decorate it with some halved strawberries. And there you have it. This is the most luxurious looking chocolate strawberry cake, but it is so easy to prepare. You have the soft as a pillow chocolate genoise sponge which is soaked in a milk soak, and then we have this freshness coming in from the whipped cream and the tart sweetness from the strawberry jam, all packaged together into this stunning cake. It is such a showstopper, perfect for any celebration that you may have at home. This is an absolute must-try cake, especially if you love chocolate and strawberries. I promise you're going to love this. And if you like this recipe, you should check out my strawberry desserts playlist because that has some of the most amazing desserts that you can try at home. I hope you enjoy making this. Happy baking!